yes. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are in the globe. This is the Comrade and Friends, a segment of the Comrade Show, your regular Sunday tonic. It's still on the road to 2023, even though the elections have been done and dusted. And today, we shall be looking at the mandate and the law. You know what it is in Nigeria. After the elections, the Labour Party, led by Peter Gregory Obi, has since gone to court. But the issues is never ending. Hopefully, May 29th, 2023 will be the day where the president-elect will be sworn in. We don't know how events will play out. We are still watching. On that note, we have a very strong and important person that will be helping us talk about the mandate and the law today. It's no other but a true obedient, Olorogun Theodore Ochuko Arahi. And we have the scenes in the house, and of course myself, to help talk about this and once again deepen democracy. Do not touch that die. You know the drill. It is the Comrade Show. We'll be back in a minute.
Comrade Show, wait, Comrade Lante Oriente. This is the Comrade Show.
Thank you so much once again. I welcome you cacabolically to your darling program, The Comrade and Friends, your Sunday tonic. Today, the 23rd of April, 2023. I remain your friend and brother, obedient Comrade Augustine Iremira. I have the scenes in the house, Comrade Lante Paosariaki. Please greet our people wonderfully.
Thank you very much, obedient pharmacist Austin Iremira. Yet Nigerians, greetings to you all. It is the Comrade Show. Stay with us. The mandate and the law is what we are looking at, and we have a special guest in the house. Don't go away. Do the drill. Just keep sharing, and let's bring the whole world down here. The mandate is alive. Thank you very much, pharmacist. Over to you.
Thank you, Comrade Lante Paosariaki, GCO, the man that knows everything within the local government. You are glowing in beauty. Always good to be with you to help and deepen understanding of Nigeria, especially within the political arena. But today, ladies and gentlemen, friends and viewers of the Comrade Show, we will be doing less of the talking. Like we said, we have a very important guest, a big elephant in this movement, to retrieve our mandate and to take Nigeria to the next level. He is no other but Olorogun himself. Let's bring Olorogun to greet our people wonderfully, and we'll take it off from there. Olorogun, please greet our people. You are welcome to the local government of the Comrade Show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my comrades. You are very welcome to a very special edition of this show. And we shall be looking critically into what happened on the 25th of February, 2023. Before we jump into the show, I'd like to yield to the comrade Austin, to continue with his moderation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Olorogun. It's good to see you. You're looking very, very Olorogu-ish. Maybe if time permits, we shall convert you and baptize you and give you the name the Comrade. But it is good for us to start. There's no time. We have a lot to talk about. Olorogun Theodore Ochuko Arahi. In Comrade Show, we have a tradition. We always like to know our guests, and our viewers like to know you. Can you tell us a little about yourself? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Comrade Austin. As you have heard, my name is Olorogun Theodore Ochuko Areki. I'm a project manager in the United Kingdom. I live in the United Kingdom with my family. I'm married with a beautiful daughter who is making me very proud. She's doing so well in school. And I think she's taking after her daddy so much. And I quite like that. Well, I came to the United Kingdom a long time ago in 1999, September 1999. And before then, I was a practicing civil engineer who worked in Shell. I worked in Shell in Warri for a few years. And then I resigned from Shell to become a Shell contractor. I did a few projects with Shell. And soon after that, I thought I should relocate and come to the United Kingdom. because my wife, she's a British citizen, and I thought it would be greener pastures for us. And so I came to the United Kingdom, and I've since been doing all sorts of things in the United Kingdom, as you would expect. And recently, there was a man uh, who came into the political scene in Nigeria, and every time I listened to him, I wept for my country. Every time I listen to him, I get a new courage. Every time I listen to him, I see hope for a new Nigeria. And that drove me into this obedient movement. And I'm actually in so many of the groups. Wherever I hear Peter B, I'm there because Peter B's blood runs in me. And we have done that, and we'll keep doing it until we redeem our mandate. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Olorogu. It means that your nationality and who you are is not in doubt. You have said a lot. Like many of us in diaspora, we are really, really feeling the itch. We are feeling very sad because we know our country can be better. Well, no need to waste any time. We are going to serve you the first question. I call on CNC to give you that first question as we begin to deepen democracy. I begin to let our people know what is involved. Also, too, I want to tell our viewers at some point we are going to open the lines. Please feel free. Olorogu is here and is willing and happy and able to answer all your questions. Komilante Kwausariaki, can we serve Olorogu his first meal of question for today?
Thank you very much, Comrade Pharmacist. Honorable, I want to sincerely welcome you to this broadcast. The reason why I welcome you is because we are going to be talking to a man who is an insider, a man who worked closely with the Obedience campaign, a man who knows a lot more than many people do. With the election is done. Right now, we are dealing with the fallout of the election. Obi has gone to court. There is the talk of the mandate, reclaim the mandate, and all of that. From an insider's point of view, and from one who knows, Obi's position, who knows, a bit of the law, who knows a bit of what is going on, is this mandate possible to reclaim?
Thank you very much, Comrade Oriaki. In simple answer to your question, yes. Now, but before I drive into the question, I have to warn us, particularly myself, that I will try and stay very clear and far away from matters that are under judicial considerations. So, such matters that are prohibited from public discussions, I will do my very best to avoid that. Now, let me go back a bit. Nigeria is disorganized. It's a disorganized country, the way we are today. But there are potentials in Nigeria. And the greatest potential we have in Nigeria are the people. We are a population of 218 million Nigerians today. And that is not a small feat. America is only 300 and something million people. We are 218 million people in Nigeria. So we've got potentials, but we are in disorganizations. Yes? And we have, from this disorganization, the problem we typically have is the lack of educations and the low morals of Nigeria. We have human beings, yes, but not educated with morals to be able to drive and govern ourselves. The morals of best practice and good governance procedures, we don't have. Now, let us look at the kind of professors we have in Nigeria, for instance. You and I will agree that the professor in Adamawa has the lowest ebb of of morals in Nigeria. It is a problem. It is a huge problem. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, um, should be made to provide all the necessary materials that justify their confidence of the results they announced. If you announce a result, you must have a basis for that announcement, not just telling us that you have collated results and you have.
Sorry to interject.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
I just want to interject a bit so that we don't drive away from the point.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
look, this broadcast, we are, this broadcast is going to be viewed by a lot of Nigerians, many of whom are obedient themselves,
yes,
and every day people want assurance and reassurance. Okay, that this is a mandate that is it's within grasp by the obedient.
yes,
Now, the question I ask, all that INEC has done, Nigerians know.
yes,
People don't want to bother themselves about the mistakes INEC, have made deliberately or otherwise. People want to know, based on the prayers of Peter Obi told the tribunal, okay, the prayers of Peter Obi to say that he is the rightful winner of the election. We want to know,
yes,
okay, and just opposing those, the prayers of Obi and the law, is this mandate reclaimable?
yes.
From an
Look,
insider, one who was part of the election, who is part of the Obi team, who was on ground when the election was taking place, is this mandate reclaimable, sir?
again, I will answer you yes. And you don't, to look at the problem, you have to look at before, during, and after the problem. I'm not just going to jump into after the problem. The answer I gave to you is a yes. Now, but we have to look at what happened. What did INEC do? What happened in Nigeria? So everyone who is looking at this, we get a complete holistic picture of what has happened in the Nigerian election. This is why we have to take a step back and bring the story from where it started. For instance, we had a Senate, and a House of Rep election on the 25th of February. Now, the results of that election, INEC allowed. Um, I, are you with me? Am I losing you? Can you hear?
No, we're with you, sir.
Yeah,
Go
okay.
ahead.
INEC allowed the results of the House of Rep to be uploaded into the through the Beavers machines to the INEC iRep portal. That's INEC result viewing portal. Yes, they did not allow the results of the presidential election to be uploaded. Yes, these are issues that we have to take a step back and look at before we jump into the conclusion to say yes, our mandate can be reclaimed. We are going to reclaim the mandate. There are issues with the petitions. My principal, Mr. Peter Obi, has taken to court. Those matters in court, I will be careful not to mislead people, one, and to be careful as I say them, so that we don't muddle up our case before it is heard by the judiciary. We are praying the judiciary to actually wake up and address the issues before the 29th of May 2023. Yes. Now, I always draw an analogy from what has happened in the world. For instance, President Donald Trump, he went to court with 62 cases after Joe Biden was declared the winner of the American election. These 62 cases were addressed before Mr. Joe Biden was sworn in as president of America. Why can we not do that? What is holding us back from going to court and addressing this matter in court? So we reclaim our mandate. Now, in reclaiming our mandate, we have facts, we have figures of what has happened.
What, sir, can we just jump into the facts that you think we have? that
Yes.
makes this mandate possible to reclaim?
Yes.
I probably just want to know that.
Yes. I'll give you a few. So we are treading carefully because the matter is in court. Now, on the day of the election, we have on record that the INEC IREV portal had results as early as 6:25 a.m. in the morning.
Before the elections.
Yes, the elections were scheduled to start at 8 o'clock in the morning, but results appeared in their portal from a few states. I can mention a few if you allow me, Jigawa, Niger State, and Gombe State. They had results at 6:25 a.m. in the morning. From
Even
where
before the election, even before the election
even
started.
before the election started. And on top of that, we also have facts of election started at on the 25th of February. In 72 hours, the results were flipped over on top of their head between when we finished the election, 25th of February, and 72 hours after. We have all these records, and INEC were careless in managing this process. For instance, the website where they host IREV is run by Amazon. Yes, Amazon Web Services manages the website that INEC paid for. And Amazon is not a Nigerian organization where you can come and bribe somebody and get away with it. It's not going to happen. Amazon has all the details, all whatever has happened on the website, they are all there. They are in the public domain, as a matter of fact. It's not a hidden issue. So when you look at these issues, we can beat our chest and say, yes, we are going to reclaim our mandate.
Over to you, Pharmacist Remy.
Thank you so much, Olorogun. It's very clear to all our viewers. You have said that the mandate is indeed retrievable. But there's something I want to ask now. Like it's always said in common parlance, I have to say this in pidgin English. They say people who carry case go court, they know the truth. Who commit sin plus who not commit sin, they know the truth. They go make life difficult for the judges. Now, Olorogun, I know you said yes, we have a case confidently.
Yeah.
But of course, the people that will decide this case, I mean the judiciary now. If we look at antecedents, we will be worried. What do you think will be the game changer in this one?
Well, thank you very much, comrade. It is unfortunate that we are in a society where we can not say anything good about our judiciary. When you go down history of our judiciary, you see injustice. Yeah, you don't see fairness. You don't see equity. Your case, even though you have the facts, they can overrun your case by procedure. Oh, you didn't go through the right procedure, so you have lost the case. So an armed robber can go to court and win a case, even though everyone knows that this man is the thief, he's guilty, but the court can say, well, you didn't pass through this procedure, therefore you have lost the case.
Sorry, sir. Can we say that is generally applicable? But in this same country, we have seen, governors, returned through the process of the court. We can count a number of governors that went to court and they reclaimed their mandate, whether it is right or wrong. But these were judgments given by the same court in Nigeria.
Yes. This is what we're asking for. We want that as a standard, as a given. So everyone who goes to court gets equity, gets fairness, and he gets justice. But unfortunately, that's not the case in Nigeria. I'm not going to go into naming different cases in Nigeria. There are some that, but look, if you look at our history of litigation.
Sir, are you saying? Sorry,
Yes.
I'm going to be interjecting. Are you saying that we don't have confidence in our judiciary? Is that what you're trying to say?
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. The reason is this: one court of justice will tell you are guilty. Another court of justice comes back to say, no, you are not guilty. How did they see the case? Through what lens were they looking at the case? This is the problem. This is
So
the
so
issue.
so when you said just now that our mandate is reclaimable,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
did you put this in consideration? Are you not saying that we cannot reclaim this mandate because of the judicial process, or what?
I'm saying that even though we are going to reclaim this mandate, we cannot take away bottlenecks. Yes. Nigeria has gotten to an ebb where money plays a major role in everything in Nigeria because people are poor. The poverty index is very, very low in Nigeria, or rather, it's very, very high. Yes. So because people are poor, they are willing to do anything for money. So we don't know. But given the facts, and I want the facts to prevail in this matter. If the facts prevail, we have the facts. We have data from Amazon, we have data from our own tech team, of the election, of what happened on the day of the election, what happened 72 hours after the election, up until today, what is happening within the INEC, how INEC is changing, data and changing figures and manipulating. It is unprofessional. And I'll tell you what INEC has done that they are not looking at. INEC told me and you and us, all of us, that if we vote and we put our thumbprint across any line, that vote, even though it's predominantly in a political party, because it touches the line, that vote is null and void. Now, guess what INEC has done? INEC has mutilated results, cancelled results. They will cancel figure and forget to change the figure in words and submit that as a result in their portal.
And we have those evidences.
We absolutely have them. We have all this evidence. And we are going to court with this evidence. You see, this is the point. How could you submit a woman's face as a result in INEC? It's so demeaning to the quality of Nigerians we have in this world. Nigerians are everywhere doing great things. Unfortunately, the body that is supposed to create a new Nigeria for Nigeria is letting them down. I can tell you one of the things we can do as solution to the INEC problem, although that's another matter, but it's part of the law. Because today we are talking about our mandate and the law. And I can say to you that it is wrong, and I put that in hypothesis, that it is wrong for the president of Nigeria to nominate the chairman of INEC. The president comes from a political party, and these different parties are the ones who are going to contest against each other. I'm coming.
Chief Olorogun, sorry, sir. These are constitutional matters. We don't want to bother ourselves.
That's what I'm going to, because the constitution is ignorant of it. We as a people, we have vested our authorities in the House of Assembly. So it is the House of Assembly that should be giving us the chairman of independent, the word is independent organizations. INEC is supposed to be an independent organization. So the president is not independent. The president is partisan. But our National Assembly is made up of all the politicians. They can agree and create. So we need to reinvest our authority in the National Assembly, so that these independent organizations, they don't what's the word now? They don't look at the president before they make decisions. They report to the National Assembly. They don't report to the president. But if the president nominates them, appoints them, it becomes a problem. We need to look at all of this when we are looking at the law.
Olorogun, hold your thought. I think the airwaves, the Twitter, Facebook is buzzing. Everybody is interested and they are really happy the way you're answering this question. I know many times we try to bring you back to the mandate and the law, and you are always trying to explain. I know where you are going to, and you have made it very clear that Nigeria is indeed very skewed. And I think we'll talk about that at some point. It's the skewness of the way our country is that makes us to see all these things. Like you said in the intro, when you were trying to create the template, we have often mentioned, even Olisa Bakuba mentioned, that this can be resolved in a very short time.
Yes.
But it appears our law, the skewness of that law, gives 180 days for this to be done. And information reaching us say can even spend up to 10 months, because 180 days is 6 months, 2 months in any other appeal, and the last one will be the Supreme Court, which is another 2 months. So we are talking of a total of 10 months in all, looking at over 300 days. That's one. Another worry is, we've often said it in this show, after God, the next most important person in the whole world, I say it again, is the president of Nigeria. That is the worry now. If Bola Ahmed Tinubu is sworn in May 29th, and from what we've established, it means the president is now the God and controls everything. Would we seek justice even when we know that our case is watertight? That is a big question. So now, what should obedient and the nation do? What should we be doing?
Well, I think you have answered the question you have asked. Why would it take the courts, the judicial system, 180 days to litigate over a matter?
They will say they want to follow the law that we have, so we cannot really win in that case.
No. The law only says you have up until 180 days. The law doesn't say you have to wait till 180 days before you litigate the matter. No. You can start the litigation from day 1 or day 2 or day 3. You don't have to wait until 180 days. Mind you, that is the Tribunal and Court of Appeal that has that 180 days. We still have another 60 days with the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
How many days do we have to May 29th?
In fact, after the tribunal, we have 2 months for further ones and extra 2 months for Supreme Court. So we have a total of 4 months.
This is absolute. Well, I will mind my language. It is not a good thing for a country to just sit down and do nothing when the country is on fire.
I think that the shortcomings of our system is not one that we don't know. Definitely, a lot of people have come to agree, that our judicial system needs holistic reform.
Yes.
The judges we are talking about right now, we can count them, with our fingers, and we can equally count the number of cases appearing, before the court. There are some cases that ought not to even go beyond the tribunal, or even go beyond the appeal court. But many of them are going to find their way down to the Supreme Court. How many of the justices do we have at the level of the Supreme Court? Okay, I think I understand that there are about 14 instead of 21. You understand? At the end of the day, somebody losing local government elections is going all the way to the Supreme Court. Somebody losing governorship election is going all the way to the Supreme Court. And there are loads and loads and loads of them. This one will equally come and join them, and many more will come and join them. And the Constitution is only giving a window of 180 days or 60 days, as the case may be, at the level of the Supreme Court. And we have just few judges and few justices to deal with these issues. So there are ample reasons why the justice system will definitely fail Nigerians, not compliant with the provisions of the law given by the window, as it were, and all of that. But be that as it may, is Obi's case watertight enough that the blind can see, that even the deaf can hear, that this is a reclaimable mandate? That is the confidence I want you to give to the Nigerian people, that this mandate is reclaimable.
Yes, look, the Peter Obi's case and the Labour Party's case is watertight. It's absolutely watertight. The only problem we have is we have chosen to demean we have chosen to reduce Nigerians to this low ebb of 180 days. We have submitted a petition and we have listed the petition. Recently, the people we are petitioning against have also responded in their own petition. So what is holding the court from convening the matter and litigating it? Why must they wait for 180 days before they convene a court? What is a court made of? Human beings. In a matter like this is a crucial, critical, important matter deciding deciding a nation. This matter, look, INEC, I don't know if you understand how important that body is. The Independent National Electoral Commission. That is the body that is supposed to be building Nigeria. Because if they give us a shitty president, we get a shitty nation. If they give us a president that Nigerians voted for, Nigerians can say, yeah, we don't mind. We voted for him. We like him. And Nigerians also have the mandate to kick him out if they don't want him. INEC is supposed to sit by and be that umpire and not take side and select who they want and give us who they want. That is, you are damaging posterity. The effect of what we're talking about is going to be seen 100 years from now, 200 years from now. So if the judicial system does not sit up and say, hang on, this is a simple matter. Who are the judges involved? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come, let's see. When can we meet? We have received a petition from Mr. Peter Obi and Labour Party. We have also received a counter petition from APC and Bola Ahmed Tinubu. When can we hold him? It's as simple as I just gave you America. President Donald Trump, he had 62 cases petitioned against Mr. Joe Biden. Those matters were dealt with clean before Mr. Joe Biden was sworn in. That is how civil we should be. These are examples there for us. We are not an island. We live in a world where we can look at order. What are they doing in America? What are they doing in the United Kingdom? What are they doing in France? What are they doing in Kenya? What are they doing in South Africa? You know, we can't just sit down and say, oh, well, we are animals, so we have to wait 180 days because our constitution says. The constitution is not set in stone. The constitution is a document that you can amend it. And we have a body, the National Assembly, that is vested with these powers to amend our constitution.
But unfortunately, that's going to happen now before the government. Go ahead, sir.
Olorogun, definitely they will not do what you have just said. They are going to allow kick the can down the road. Now, my question to you: we know our mandate is watertight. We know the judiciary will be slow and want to follow the process. For common Nigerians, me and you, knowing that the case is in court now, what should we be doing? What will be our role? What will obedience be doing? What are we expected to do from now till this is resolved?
Now, thank you very much, comrade, again for a very good question. The truth of the matter is, if you were living in a civilized society, you can't even you can't think of what you have just said. That what should we be doing when we had a mandate, we have voted for a man, and we have been denied that person? You can't comprehend that, because what will come out of that will be civil unrest. Protest against protest against protest will happen in a civilized society. Unfortunately, these politicians have dealt the youth, the Nigerians, a huge blow that they can't even talk. How can I look? When we took independence from, or when we had independence from our colonial masters, Awolowo was in his 30s. Alhaji Ibrahim Babangida was 25 years old. Chief Anthony Nahoro, who actually asked for the independence in the British House of Commons in 1953, was 26 years old. Now tell me, Today, 35 years old young men and women are still sleeping on their parents' couch in their parents' sitting room because their parents cannot afford a separate bedroom for them, so they sleep on the couch.
Let alone having their own houses.
They can't have their houses because they have no jobs.
Except they are Yahoo.
It is unfortunate that our judicial system will see these problems and will not do the right thing for this country. It is so sad. They are digging us deeper and deeper and deeper into the trench. It is sad. Nobody is born to rule Nigeria. No. Nobody is.
So therefore, Olorogun, I would also say that whatever all of us we are doing is very important to keep it on. Because anything we can bring to keep the conversation on will begin to keep confidence in the Nigerian people. On that note, I must thank this young man who has brought a new dimension to it. Because we need to keep the conversation on. We can't go to the street now because it might be hijacked, and that would be a good reason for them to cause problems. But we cannot just also keep quiet.
Yes, David is a fantastic young man who believes in the new Nigeria, who believes in a different Nigeria from what we have had running. Look, the people who took independence from the British, they are still the ones running Nigeria till today. They were in their 20s when they took over from the British. They are still running the show till today. Babangida was there. He was 25 years old. You cannot become president of Nigeria unless you go and see him. Why? Obasanjo was there at the time. You cannot become president of Nigeria unless you go and see Obasanjo. Why? Who did they see in their 20s when they took over and ran Nigeria?
They saw the gods. They saw the gods.
They didn't see anybody. So why is it that our youth today have to go and see them, pay homage? Look, if you want to become a governor of any state, your visitation will cost you a head, a leg, and an arm for you to become a governor of any state. You would see this big man, you will see this king, you will see that big man, you will see this big man, and every visitation you carry monies, drinks, and everything to go and see them. These same people who took independence and didn't see anybody, they are still the ones running the show till today. Why?
Anyway, Olorogun, I just want to cut in here. I want to interject here. First and foremost, this is the system we came to meet. This is what it is. And I think that the reason why Obi is a phenomenal candidate, it's because Nigerians are looking to change the status quo. And that is why this discourse is ongoing.
Yes.
Now, we have looked at Obi and the tightness of his case and the hope that this mandate is reclaimable. I want to play a particular video for you and help us make sense of it in the light of all that is going on.
Yes.
Let's watch this and we'll discuss it hereafter.
Okay.
Hi there, this is Kakaki Social. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Rena Obozege. Now, an online global fact checker, UberFacts, has shared what it calls the certified true copies of court documents on how Nigeria's president-elect Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu forfeited $460,000 to the American government in 1994 for drug trafficking. Now, as at 6 a.m. today, that's about 2 hours ago, the one-day-old post has been seen by 15.2 million persons, according to Twitter. This news has been on the social media space before, but the new thing is that it is now being circulated by an international fact-checking platform, and that it says that it is certified true copies. If you guess the fresh publication must have cost relief in some quarters, you're right. However, some supporters of Tinubu has also not had a break on Twitter with counter-accusations since the post was made. Now let's quote the original post first before we get to see some reactions.
Well, Olorogun,
yes,
that is one of the so many matters hanging around Bola Ahmed Tinubu's neck.
yes.
And just recently, some people came up with information that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has multiple, or rather has another nationality. And that is why this discourse is ongoing. Now, we have looked at Obi and the tightness of his case and the hope that this mandate is reclaimable. which he did not, swear to when he was, of course, filling his affidavit for to contest the election. So some people are alleging already that he lied under oath. Do you see a possibility, given some of these things hanging around the president-elect, do you see a possibility that he will be sworn in as president?
I don't.
Why?
And I don't. And the reason I say that is you cannot, in your human sense of best practice procedure, allow a man with so much baggages to become the president of a nation. That nation will lose all credibility within the nations of the world. Now, here's a man, because you have played that video, I can talk a bit about the video. I know I'm staying clear and I'm treading carefully on matters that are not supposed to be discussed publicly. You cannot, a man who you forfeit $460,000 because they said the money in your account were drug money. How will such a money just walk into your personal account? Now, let us look at how critical this matter is. Number one, you want to vie to be the president of Nigeria. You had no primary school attended. Zero. You didn't put any primary school. You had no secondary school attended. Zero. You didn't put any secondary school. Yes, you had lied about the university you attended, because when the university was contacted, they said they don't know you. Yes, you lied about working in a company in America. The company was contacted, they said they don't know you. Deloitte. Yes. You also filled your form and you failed to declare in your form that you had other nationalities, i.e., you are an American citizen and you are also a Guinea citizen. You cannot do that, because the American nation can influence our politics because they see their citizens running for president, or the Guinea Conakry government can influence our politics because they see their citizens running. This is why it is critical, very crucial, for us to declare that, well, I was a British citizen, but I have denounced it. I'm a Nigerian. I want to run, I want to run in the office of the president of Nigeria. So I'm going to denounce my previous citizens or citizenships. Yes, he didn't do that. And you want such a man to be president of Nigeria? You've got to be joking.
Olorogun, I just have to hold you there. You have added another twist. Are you sure that he's got an American citizenship, or is just common knowledge?
That is, well, I know that Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not stay in America all these many years without having a green card.
Okay, so I want to ask, because, like you said, yes, I don't think having a dual citizenship is enough. Like you said, if he has denounced it or put it in his record, that will not be a problem. It's on that note that I want to say, because when this whole issue of citizenship came up, I was surprised just to drive into this and to let our people know that the man, Peter Gregory Obi, is really credible. And I think in terms of divinity, God has arranged that man to be at this moment in Nigeria. Obi lived in the UK from 10 to 15 years. And I was shocked, to be frank, to hear that he didn't have a British passport.
No.
Like Komilante always say, there seems to be some form of divinity with this gentleman. I just wanted to throw that in the works. You can continue, Olorogun.
Thank you very much. This is a statement of fact. The man had a premonition that one day he could become the president of Nigeria. Yes, he started from becoming the governor of his state, Anambra State. And he knew that there will be conflict of interest. That's the key word. Conflict of interest. You cannot be a British citizen and you are going to become a governor in Anambra State in Nigeria, or you are vying to become the president of Nigeria. You cannot. It is not done.
For me, I don't think it's to be fair. Even though Constitution did prohibit one who must run for the office of the president not to have acquired any other citizenship. I don't think that is much of an issue to me as an individual. But that this man did not declare this.
Yeah.
It's perjury for me. And perjury is not just a matter that we just talk about and we just lay to the carpet. It's punishable, by some time in prison.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
There are many things. There are many things about this man, that Nigerians should not take with a pinch of salt. Nigerians should actually we should be banging.
Sorry, Chief Olorogun, let me just quickly, delve into another matter, okay? Because when INEC apportioned results, to make Peter Obi come third. If in the event that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not be sworn in as president, in the event that his certificate of return will be withdrawn from him, looking at the fallout of the court process, as it were.
Yes.
Are you concerned that Atiku Abubakar will be named the president of Nigeria?
No, it's not as easy as that, comrade.
Let us know how.
Yes, and this is how. This is why. Now, if Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they withdraw his certificate of return and is not sworn in on that day, then of course INEC is going to tell us why. The confidence in which they have withdrawn that certificate is not as easy as saying throwing it to the next man. We know that the results were all mutilated. You have to give us those facts. How you got Atiku Abubakar to be the second person or the second runners up to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You have to give us this fact. We have the facts. So this is the thing. If today the court sees that yes, there is a credible case against Bola Ahmed Tinubu, therefore is not going to become the next president of Nigeria, INEC has a massive job to do to prove to us that Peter Obi didn't win this election. Peter Obi actually won the election. Nigeria is the only country in this world where opinion poll will tell you that Comrade Oriaki will win the election. And then on the day of the election, Comrade Oriaki becomes the last person on the ballot.
But I want to hold you, Omorogun. In other climes, opinion poll have failed before.
No, it doesn't fail the way this one has failed. It doesn't. It will fail by a margin of, maybe plus 2% or 1.5%. Yeah, that's okay. That's fair. Because there are people who are on the fence who may not have been reached on the opinion poll. Yeah, but this one was not. There was a clear gap between Peter Obi came from a long shot to the front runner of the election.
Olorogun, are you indirectly trying to tell us that having worked closely with the Peter Obi campaign,
yes,
that the internal result collated by the Peter Obi team is showing that Peter Obi actually won this election? Is that what you are indirectly trying to say?
Clearly, I'm saying to you, even in my own local government, I was in Nigeria during the election. The results that came out of my polling unit, I was managing all of it. I was running up and down my local government. The results that came from my polling unit, they were not the results that got to INEC. This is
so, and the Peter Obi team, they have this evidence.
Of course, we do. Them. We do. We have these records. We have the records, and I can tell you that they are all worried about this. They are looking for how they can manipulate and get out of it. Unfortunately, they can't. Even if Bola Ahmed Tinubu is sworn in on the 29th of May, we are still in court. Even if it means going into international court, we will go there. We are lucky. INEC used Amazon web services to host the website. Amazon is not going to lie about who logged in, who changed password, what time the person logged in, what time he changed. Amazon is not going. The data is there, clear. So we are going to work on all of this and get out. It's a simple thing. we're not saying that it's a do or die that Peter Obi must be president of Nigeria. No. But if the man, we need a precedence. We need to manage our process. What it is best practice process. You know, I have a video on best practice. You know, the 5 levels of best practice process. If we are running best practice process in Nigeria, nobody will go to court. When you lose, you know that you have lost, and you sit down. In most countries, the United Kingdom, in America, it was only Donald Trump who has come with litigation going to court. The previous presidents.
No, sorry, sir. Henry Bakare just asked, in line with the question I asked earlier about Atiku Abubakar, and he said, how can we also prove that Atiku Abubakar does not have dual citizenship, that he may not have declared?
Well,
because Atiku Abubakar is not yet in focus at the moment.
Yes, look, these citizenships are not hidden. We have to understand. Look, Nigerians should wake up. The Nigerians are sleeping. These are not hidden things. I'm a British citizen. I'm also a Nigerian citizen because we are allowed to. I'm coming.
So you cannot become president of Nigeria now because you are.
He can.
I can contest an election in Nigeria. All I need to do is to declare that I'm a British citizen and renounce the British citizenship and come and contest in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
It's as simple as that. You know, as for Atiku, he has not come up to say whether he's a citizen of Dubai or somewhere else in the world, you know, but he cannot get away with it. They should wake up that in this world of today, you can't lie anymore. The internet is God's gift to humanity in this world.
I think another thing is that Atiku is not a point. It's not the case in point at the moment.
Yes. Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, friends of the Comrade Show, it's been your darling program, the Comrade and Friends, and everywhere is buzzing. We have in the house Olorogun Theodore Chiko Araki, a strong man and a strong obedient, dissecting and giving us information and issues. Don't touch that dial. We'll be opening the lines now. Pick up your phone and ring us. The man is here, full of energy, wanting to tell us what we don't know, what we already know, and how we are going to go there. He has reiterated on many occasions in today's show that the mandate is indeed reclaimable, and that the prayers of Peter Obi and the evidence before Nigeria is watertight. And he's sure that even in the face of a dwindling judicial judgment, he's very sure that this one will change the tide, and the mandate for obedient and indeed Nigerians will be reclaimed. Olorogun, thank you so much for staying with us. I just want to also say, I would have also been slightly worried, even if I'm not a lawyer. Comrade Lante is not a lawyer. I don't think you are, but I think you have a lot of information. Now, I know in other climes, the state can even take you to tax. Why is the state and the judiciary not taking even Bola Ahmed Tinubu to tax on this issue of dual citizenship and denial? Forget about the electoral process, because I know in America, the state can take you to court. Why is the state unable to do this even before the electoral process?
It's simple. It's one of those clauses in our constitution that should be expunged, should be removed. Now, in a way, I think the lawyers thought it, and they came up and said, yes, if I come and rob you, yes, it is only you that can take me to court to listen, for the court to listen to. Yes. So in Bola Ahmed Tinubu's case, even though we knew way before, only the contestants with him had the jurisdiction to take him to court.
Okay, my question, Olorogun, on non-election matters, this dual citizenship is on non-election matter. Can the state not prosecute him?
No, the state cannot. And
Wow.
as a matter of fact, I spoke with a lawyer friend of mine, and he says, unfortunately, your petition doesn't have the dual citizenship as one of the case in your petition.
No. I've equally spoken to somebody.
Yes.
What the prayer said was that it's very ambiguous, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as at the time of the election, was not qualified.
Yes.
Which therefore means that every evidence to prove that he was not qualified can be brought under that particular clause to prosecute that court, because the court is going to ask, why are you making this prayer that as at the time of the election was not qualified? So at that time, the team can come up with the issue of, is criminal, the alleged criminality in America, okay, which is a constitutional matter, even in Nigeria.
Yes.
The team can come up with the issue of, what's it called, dual or multi-citizenship, that he lied on that oath. So all of these things will be admissible, and even many more that may not be public knowledge at the moment. So at the end of the each of the prayers somehow they have this robustness in them that they can admit.
Yes, Comrade Oraki, let me just drop in on this matter you're talking about. It will not be accepted in this case, in this matter that we are litigating about. They will not accept this new dual citizenship. It will not be admissible in court. Wait, hold on. The only thing we can do is to go to another court and make that's all and that's what we are going to do. But in this particular case that we have in court, it will not be admissible.
But Olorogu, in a very funny Nigeria, what if he now go to God to get an interim injunction saying that should not be? You know the way they do these things.
No, but we cannot run our Nigeria in the way they do these things. This is the whole premise of Peter Obi. Peter Obi has come to transform Nigeria from the old ways to these new ways, to the proper way of doing things. Peter Obi stayed in the UK for 15 years, thereabout. Yes? And the man soaked himself in quality of life. The man learned everything. Peter Obi sacrificed himself. Peter Obi, you will never have seen him in a party and all those things, drinking and no. Peter Obi was soaking himself in, how can my country be like this? How can my country be? And before he started this race, he navigated the world. Every problem, he went to a source that could help solve that problem for Nigeria. Electricity, production, transportation. He went to every nation that had a solution to at least mitigate that problem for us. So this is the quality of, look, APC, if they were desperate about it, why didn't they bring somebody as good as Peter Obi? We will not be having this conversation. The Nigerians will have voted for that person or not, and then we'll say, yeah, okay, it's as good as Peter Obi. Yeah, it's okay, we run the country, because Nigeria is not made for one person. But they haven't done that. They have brought a man carrying so much baggages of criminality, and you want that man to be my president? I don't know if you have seen people tearing their Nigerian passports online in social media. That is disgusting. It is the height of a nation falling. This is the reason why we are fighting for this mandate, and we are going to reclaim it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Olorogun. I know Comrade wants us to stay on this mandate, but I think the issue surrounding it is very important to help us give our viewers a good understanding. I am slightly worried, Olorogun, with Labour Party, because now it looks like they've now infiltrated us. I listened to Osuntoku on Arise on Thursday, and he expressed real concern. The Labour Party is like we're having a fierce battle, and Abure is also in trouble, and we don't know the nitty-gritty of that. They are throwing everything at us and throwing everything at the Obedient Movement and Labour Party. What do you have to say to that?
Well, Labour Party is a young party, a party that never expected that they will come from far, far away behind and become front runner in any political election in Nigeria. They never ever dreamt of that position. And suddenly they find themselves overwhelmed with that position. Of course they will struggle, and Peter Obi, being the clever man, Peter Obi has a way of not pushing you to do over and above what you can afford. If Peter Obi wants something done, he looks for the man who can do the job. If the man is not there, he gets you and he will support you slowly until you get the job done. That was the position we were in, in the Labour Party. Now they are throwing all these bricks and stones and everything at us because they know we have won the election. If they think we didn't win the election, why are they going into Labour Party and trying to damage Labour Party?
What do you think is the aim why they are throwing these bricks and stones at the Labour Party hierarchy?
Look, if a man is fighting a war and he knows he's losing, he uses everything that is around him to come out of that battle. You know, they know they are losing. You know, Labour Party is now it's now a major party, and I use capitals in the major. It's a major party in Nigeria, and I will encourage as many Nigerians as possible to join Labour Party. Labour Party is for the workers, the people who labor for the country. That is a party for them. And so I'm encouraging everyone to join the Labour Party, strengthen the Labour Party. Of course, there will be spies and molds in every organization, but with time, we fish them out and we put them in the bin where they belong.
What makes you think that the Labour Party will be different from the establishment, the other political parties, APC, PDP, and the rest?
We have an exemplary candidate as president. Yes, I agree with you that look, my analogy in answer to your question, the first car that was made in this world, that's not the car you are driving today. Over these many years, all kinds of cars have come out of that very first car. Mercedes has come, Toyota has come, Mazda has come, Volkswagen has come from that original first car. So it is from the same political dispensation, the same Nigerians, that new political parties will come from. Now, how we manage these new people, that's a different thing within the political dispensation they are in. So with Peter Obi coming, give and take, let's say Peter Obi comes as Mercedes-Benz. Yes, he's going to give us the qualities of Mercedes. That's the change we are talking about. You know, so your question is Nigerians are Nigerians. They want to take bribes. They are poor. They want all these bad things. But Peter Obi, he's I use the word exemplary. When you look at him, you will not take bribe. In your office, you look at his picture. This man is my president. You will not take bribe. That's the kind of person he is, and you don't need the bribe because Peter Obi has formula. He has drawn out how he's going to manage Nigeria, so that you don't need to go and steal money from your organization because you want to buy a piece of land, you want to build a house. You don't need that. You don't need to steal. You don't need to steal to buy a vehicle. So he has these plans to mitigate armed robbery. These youths who call themselves a deve or whatever they call themselves, there will be jobs for all of them. And they will afford all these good things. So there will be no need for armed robbery. You know, I know that when you start doing, a few people will be affected. So, for instance, generators, no more generators in Nigeria because electricity will be there. So the guys supplying generators will be up on your case. They will do everything possible to kick you out. So these are the things. We know that. And let us reclaim the mandate. And then we can further on all these good plans for the new Nigeria of our dreams.
So
I must thank you.
Sorry, sir. Just before you come on, sir, is Peter Obi faced with what is happening under the Labour Party? Because one of the fractional leaders of Labour Party, I've forgotten his name now. The one from the name is just on my lips. Yeah. He did made a claim, I think on Arise TV, that he's been trying to call Peter Obi, but Peter Obi is not taking his call and all that. I want to ask you, because you are an insider, is Peter Obi faced at all by what is happening in the Labour Party?
Absolutely. Peter Obi is the leader of Labour Party. I don't know if the chairman is not the leader. The man who is running to be president is the leader of Labour Party. So he is aware. If Peter Obi doesn't take your call, it doesn't mean anything. The whole 218 million people are calling Peter Obi on a daily basis. He cannot just sit down and take calls. He has so much work to do. Can you imagine how Peter Obi manages to remember all these facts and figures and on the fly, because today it's in Abuja, tomorrow it's in Kano, next tomorrow it's in London, the other day is in America, and he's clued up, he's collected, and he's able to deliver. You can't be taking phone calls on, So if a guy tries to reach Peter Obi,
Yes, Apapa. Thank you, Bridget Oloto. Apapa. Yeah, Dixon Mary says Apapa is one of the
yes.
president.
Oh,
That's
okay,
the
you mean
personal
Apapa,
leader.
the one
Apapa,
who is coming into we know their moles.
yeah.
That's a guy who has worked for Tinubu in the past. We know where his allegiance is. So we don't worry about such people. We look in this world, what the Bible teaches us is that there will always be one Judas. If you start to run your life and think that there will be no Judas in your life, you are just foolish. It means you are not obeying the word of God. Because
Thank you. Thank you so much, Olorogun. You are on point, and I think our viewers are very excited. I must thank you because I can see you speak with passion and you are speaking from the heart. I'm going to take you to another part of today's discourse again to see how things are going. Comellante would always say bottom, top, top, bottom. I think if Peter Obi gets the mandate and become president, when leadership starts from the top, everything will trickle down. Nigeria's problem is not from the bottom, it's indeed from the top, and it anchors on leadership. But Olorogun, I want to take you to the international scene now. I have from good authority, although I cannot really name my source now, that many invitations have gone out for the swearing on May 29th. But even within the African continent, only 2 countries have responded. And those 2 countries are not even countries you will call countries in Africa. So there is a palpable fear and worry. The big countries have not really made anything. And as diasporans, what should we be doing?
well, I have a very simple answer to your question, and my answer is coming on the back of what is damaging Nigeria. Speculation. I cannot speculate. Anything you assume, you have ignored. I'm not going to assume that letters have gone to so many nations on swearing. No, I'm not going to do that. I want to see the letters. Where are the letters? If I see it, then I'll comment and respond to it. But if I don't see it, I'm sorry, I'm not going to respond to that sort of questions. And in any case, you use the word if Peter Obi becomes president. It's not if, it's when, please. When you are saying that,
Fantastic.
yes, say when Peter Obi becomes president, not if. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So on the issue of diasporans, those of us living in diaspora, what should we be doing?
Well, we are doing so much. I don't know.
I ask this in the face of those of us living in America and Britain.
Yes.
What should we do to keep this conversation and hold our government in the countries where we are living responsible, or creating an awareness to them?
You see, no, the awareness is already there. What we did running up to the election is we occupied a space, the social media space. We lived there, we made our case there, we put the facts there, and we got the opinion of people. A lot of people didn't believe in Peter Obi, but they jumped on board and said, wow, this man, there's something. Wow, this man. We called ourselves the Obedience, so that even we allowed for people who are in other political parties or political dispensation to join us as well. So we called ourselves Obedient. Yes. And they liked it. They say, yeah, okay, I can be obedient with Peter Obi, but I will not be obedient with, say, local government, your state election or your House of Rep. But with Peter Obi, they were. So we can do we are doing exactly the same thing. I know that people are weary. When you try to run a race, you are looking at the finishing lap. Say, oh, it's one more lap to go, and you are tearing down to finish. Then suddenly you realize that you have 3 more laps to go. By the time you do that one lap, you are dissipated of energy. Yes, but we still keep on pushing and pushing. We will continue to push. We will live in that social media space. And I can tell you that all this new information coming out about dual citizenship and all this talk, they come on the back of what we are doing. People are still digging in. They still have the energy for the marathon. You know, like people will say, it's not a sprint. What we are doing is not a sprint; it's a marathon. So keep your energy reserved for the race. Yes.
Thank you so much, Olorogu. I have one more question with you, but I would like Omelamte to ask his question before I fire on the other one.
Okay.
Yes,
Do we have
Oloro, I must thank you most sincerely for your time. I'm going to ask you two in one question. And probably is the last for the program. After the presidential elections, we've seen the House of Assembly elections and the governorship elections, and we've seen, I will refer seriously to Edo State, where I'm from, because I did monitor Edo State House of Assembly elections. And, with all due respect, it was a sham. As a matter of fact, worse than what we saw in the presidential election, that Obi is fighting to reclaim his mandate now. A lot was done by the ruling party in Edo State to twist people, and some of us don't really even know where to start from as far as Edo State local elections is concerned. Talking of the House of Assembly elections, it was one would have expected that, given what we had gone through on March 25th at the presidential election, that our other elections would learn from those mistakes. You understand what I'm saying? And better themselves in a way that the will of the people will be even more pronounced. But in those state House of Assembly elections, everybody's just dumbfounded because of the strategy of the ruling party, the twisting, the bribing, the stealing of ballot boxes, the writing of results. A lot of results currently are contested and all of that. I just want to ask, what do you think as a nation we should do, particularly on the part of the people, to begin to change this story of the Nigerian state when it has to do with elections? And if you're able to answer that,
I am going to answer it.
Yeah, if you're able to answer that, what would be your message for obedience?
Okay. Comrade Oriaki, in a civilized society, let's not put it as uncivilized and civilized. The human nature just showed itself in the gubernatorial elections in Nigeria. And if you ask me why I say so, is if Peter Obi had won clearly that presidential election of February 25th and INEC had announced him the winner, you would not have seen any of this in your state or all that. What you saw was the human nature trying to fight back. Say, hey, I think they don't win. Okay, let us go and fight now and win our own. That's what you saw. It was not only in Edo State, it was also in my state, my Delta State. I was hoodwinked in my state by PDP. I couldn't do much. Coming on the back of the fact that at the time we were owing our polling unit agents, therefore our polling unit agents in my local government and across the country, they refused to work for Labour Party. Yes? So PDP took advantage of that. Where they got money from, only God knows. They were sharing 1,000, the blue note. They were giving it to these old women and everyone around, and they were voting for PDP. That is just their last struggle, because they are human beings. If it was you, you probably would have done the same. The man you thought would have won, because if Peter Obi had been declared the winner of the presidential election, it will have rubbed off on all the government election. Yes, Papa, Mama, Pikin will have been the story.
That's why they say when you want to kill a snake, go for the head.
Yes, yes. So when we were not announced as winners, even though we won, they now came out fighting. First of all, the 1 week that was the election was postponed, it wasn't good. It wasn't good enough. Why? Look, the way Nigerians do things is disgraceful.
Very, very.
It's disgraceful.
Very, very.
You know, how could you, in the middle of a process, you change the rules? You are dealing with human beings. Nigerians are human beings, quality human beings. I can tell you that. When Bill Clinton was the president of America, the guy who designed the fastest computer in America, he was a Nigerian. Quality man. In the United Kingdom, the owner of Gatwick Airport, London City Airport, and Edinburgh Airport is a Nigerian.
Yeah.
One Nigerian owns 3 airports in the United Kingdom. These are quality people. And then we sit back home, allow these riffraffs who call themselves politicians to abuse us. It's about time that all of this change. And Peter Obi is going to change all of this when he comes. It's better for everybody. I don't see what is wrong with it. That everybody should have a good life. They travel to this part of the world for that good life.
Absolutely.
If you look, in November alone, 80,000 Nigerians entered the United Kingdom. What are they coming to do if the United Kingdom was not a good place? And a huge number of that were politicians. I can tell you that.
Or their children.
Or their children. Yes. So,
Ologun, from me, your last word for anyway. Let pharmacists still go first.
Yeah.
I'll just ask you your last word for obedience.
Okay. Comandante, thank you very much. I'm going to leave you to ask that question. I still have one burning question to ask. Olorogun, this is not sub judice just now. A few actions have been taken, but I'm going to take you to Adamawa State. I don't see anything different from what Professor Hundu, we call it Hunduism now, did, by announcing Binani as governor when the process was still on. I am not a lawyer. I'm just a simple Nigerian. But I don't see anything different from what Professor Hundu did, different from what Yakubu did on February 25th. I stand to be corrected, but I don't see any difference. So if that wreck is suffering at the moment, I think Yakubu too should be suffering. Because if you remember the outburst of Dino Melaye to say that the process were not followed, the INEC chairman promised that when the results are all announced, they will take those reactions before declarations will be made. And in the wee hour of the night, the certificate of return was presented to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In Adamawa,
a thief in the night.
Yes, in Adamawa, it was announced but not presented. In my own small view, I don't see the difference. What's your take?
Look, if you look at Nigeria has problems. We have a huge problem. Do you know there is a title that affects the two people you have just mentioned, the one in Adamawa and the INEC one? There is a title. And that title is professor.
A truth.
Do you know that what that means?
Yeah.
A man who is a professor has the highest level of education in wherever he is. When issues are being discussed, they call them. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do you think about? And so if professors in Nigeria can come this low, then we have a problem. We have a huge problem. There's no difference between this professor, that professor, and quite a handful of professors in Nigeria. It's unfortunate that they have lost their professorship to greed, to partisanship, to money, and to rubbish. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Olorogun. Both are guilty as charged, yes, and they are all part of the narrative to causing problems in our country. Viewers, friends of the Comrade Show, we've had in our midst for the last 1 hour, 20 minutes, a true Nigerian in all entirety, and obedient, and one that means well. No other but Olorogun Theodore Ochiko Arahi. And he's been answering questions, talking to us, helping us understand the issue that we talked about today, which is still the road to 2023 and zeroing on the mandate and the law and what Obi stands to benefit. In the course of this conversation, Olorogun has stated very clear that the case before the courts by Peter Obi and Labour Party is watertight, and we expect nothing but victory. He has also enjoined Judiciary to do their best, and when their best is done, we know the result is only one way. Overall, he believes, with many Nigerians and many obedient, that the mandate of Peter Gregory Obi and Baba Ahmed Yusuf Dati will be reclaimed. Only time, indeed, will tell. Comrade Lamte, your last question for Olorogun as we begin to close the show.
Thank you very much, Comrade Pharmacist. Olorogun, not really much. I don't want to use the word confusion, but we have so many obedients who are very hopeful. Some are still very much dejected because of the outcome of the election and what has been happening across the nation. What is your word for obedience worldwide? A word of encouragement.
Right. Thank you very much, comrade. Obedience or obedience has come to be synonymous with goodness, good governance, no corruption, from consumption to production, from sharing to see. These are good things, So the obedience is now a synonym of a place we dream of in Nigeria, where we want to belong, where we want to go to, where there is work, but there's no hardship. There is work, but there's no corruption. There is work, but there's no suffering. That's where obedience want to be. And they say that the man who fights and run away, he lives to fight another day. Obedience will not fight and run away. We will stay on this course. We are going to stay on it, and we are going to fight so that we don't fight another day. If we don't fight another day, guess who is going to be who is the beneficiary of that? The Nigerians. 200 and something million people will be the beneficiaries of that Nigeria that we fought for. Yes. So my advice to the obedient is to stay on, stay calm. We took, a position of no protests, no rallies, no fighting. Just be obedient. Stick to the meaning of the word obedience. Stay on it, but state your case. We are stating our case, and we will continue to push and push and push with the facts until we get our mandate back. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Olorogun Araki, for being with us and decimating very well. Your final word to obedient is remain focused, stay on the course.
Yeah.
Victory is assured. Thank you so much for sparing your time with us. I know you are a very busy man, and I know at some point we'll be happy to bring you back so that you come and tell us a thing or two. Our viewers, our friends who have joined us today, thank you so much for your contributions. There was no phone call today. Hopefully there will be some next week. But we see people really talking on Facebook, Twitter, and all different handles. We are very grateful for your thoughts. Remain obedient. Remain believing in Nigeria. Because, like Peter Obi said, a new Nigeria is possible. See you next week.
Comrade Show, wait. Comrade Lamte Oriake. This is the Comrade Show.